10 ways during your shoots to continue to build trust, confidence, and strengthen the overall relationship. Number one, during your shoots, one of the things that I love to do at the very beginning of my shoot, so right after the foundation posing framework, I basically say, okay, guys, I'm gonna put you into the first pose now. Let's just do a basic V-up shot. We're gonna do all these basics. If you guys follow this, by the way, whenever you're at a party, whenever you're at a friend's house, whenever you're taking a photo, your friends are gonna always wonder why you look so photogenic in every single picture. So let's do that first shot. And I guarantee this is gonna be the best shot that you have so far of each other. Now, that's a bold statement. I guarantee this is gonna be the best image that you have so far of each other. I would not make that statement if I know from my previous discussions with them that they are actors and they constantly have, photo shoots, or they're models and they constantly have photo shoots and so forth. Because what we're about to take is a very basic photograph. But for most clients, they don't have professional experience in front of a camera. And for most clients, they're not gonna be models. And so it is a safe thing to say. But my partner, Justin, has a very good comment here, which is that can be something very bold and it can set you up to fail if you say, I'm gonna show you the best image you have so far, and in reality, they actually have images that are better. So a safer phrase, if you're uncomfortable with this, and by the way, this hasn't really failed for me, except for once. I'm gonna say once, with Caitlin and William, the example that we showed you, and I did that whole thing, and then I showed her the picture, she's like, I don't like the way I look without glasses. So I will say that it did not work for me one time, but for the majority of cases, it works fantastically. A safer phrase is, we're gonna take a single photo and it's gonna be an awesome picture. And we're gonna see what we need to change and what we need to do going forward. And from that photo, you guys are gonna see, well, we're gonna do a whole session of just amazing images. Now, what we do during that part, we're gonna kind of give you a little example, is I'm setting up my camera settings, I'm putting them into a pose. When I'm posing them, I don't even have my camera picked up. I'm posing them, putting them into that pose, getting them all ready, communicating, talking, getting them into the position and so forth. At the very end, I'll pick up the camera, I'll spend a minute, dial in my settings, I'll kind of stand back, I'll get everything ready to go. I know it's gonna be the perfect shot because I've already used my live view to make sure that my exposure settings are all on, or you can use spot metering over skin and so forth. We stand back, we take one single photograph, and I make sure that they can hear it, so don't turn on your silent shutter. I have the full shutter on so they hear the click. I walk over to them to show them, and almost every single time, their impression is, wow, we look amazing, that's an amazing photograph. When you start the photo shoot on that foot, that was literally picture number one, and I tell them, guys, that was our first picture of the day. This is gonna be an awesome day, let's keep going. And then we go through and we start jumping into all the other photos. It builds their confidence, and yes, it's putting on a little bit of a show, but it really secures their trust in you right from the start of the shoot, and you can promise them that every other image is gonna be amazing. Now, one other thing that I do right after that is I'll ask them, especially in cases like Caitlin and William, like, do you guys like the photo? Do you love the photo? If not, what do you think you wanna change about it? I'll always ask them, is there anything, even when they say to me, that's an amazing picture, that looks awesome. I say, great guys, is there anything that you would want to change about this? Do you guys love it? I zoom in, I go, I think you guys look fantastic, beautiful expressions, I love it, look at this, that's great. And they say, no, everything's perfect. And I do this, I'll go, I love it too. Here's one thing to keep in mind though, and I'll give them one tip of like posing guidance, something else that we can do, and we'll keep shooting. So that way they are kind of feeling more comfortable in that they can actually critique these images, that they don't have to say that these images look perfect every single time if there's something about it that they don't necessarily like. So I'm opening up the window to that constructive criticism. Next, number two, give continual, genuine praise throughout the shoot. If you capture a shot, praise them. Say, oh my gosh, that looks beautiful, I love that. When they get into that pose, say, that's perfect, I love that, that's great. Let me get the shot, that's a fantastic image. Talk and praise. As the shutter is clicking, do not stay silent, okay? Your biggest mistake could be this. Click, 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 and you're not talking. And they're gonna go, man, do we look okay? Are we doing this right? Even if you're clicking and it's the worst shot ever, you're gonna say, that looks great, that's fantastic. A lot of times I'll take a picture and I don't myself like it, not because of what the client is doing, but because, it was an idea that I had and it just simply isn't working out. I'll take the shot and go, oh, that's beautiful, I love that. Let's try something else, let's do this. I don't let them know that I didn't like my photograph for my own reasons. I don't let them know anything because they're gonna internalize that as them, as it's their fault. So always when the camera is up and when the shutter is going, you are continually praising. Next, show them images throughout the shoot. As you take great photographs in each scene, show them images. As you make them look beautiful, as you bring out their posture and show the woman's curves and show that masculinity in the man, show them those shots. Show them how great he can look in these photographs and how he can take one of these and put it up on Facebook and make it a new profile pic, and show her how she can look absolutely beautiful. And say things like, well, I'll say things all the time like, you're a lucky man, and I'll say this kind of stuff to praise and make them both feel good about everything. So I want to show them these images, and this is, again, an opportunity for me to identify concerns. If they have something they don't like about an image, they're going to feel comfortable telling me, because we started the shoot off with, is there anything that you might want to change about this photograph? Let me know. Throughout the shoot, let me know. We start us off on that foot so that as we show them images, we give them opportunities. That way, after 300 images, you don't find out at the very end of the shoot that they didn't like something because you never showed them a single image during the shoot. Next, use positive words to describe changes. Once again, we don't say things like, no, that's not good. Don't put that there. Oh, no, that's bad. I don't like that. That looks weird. Sometimes if I'm comfortable with somebody, I'll joke around and I'll say things like, that looks funny, or whatever it is. But that's because we have a rapport built. When we're building confidence and building trust and that relationship is not there yet, we always want to stay positive, stay reinforcing, stay everything that you need to be to make sure that they feel confident and their self-image is amazing. So rather than saying that doesn't look good, or rather than saying no, don't do that, say, let's say the guy's hands are placed like this and you want him to put his hand in the pocket. That looks fantastic. Dane, would you mind just putting that right hand in the pocket? Maybe just like this? Great, that looks so awesome. That looks fantastic. Okay, so we don't say, hey Dane, it doesn't look good with your hand out of your pocket. We don't say, hey Jessica, your posture doesn't look good there. I go, hey Jessica, you look amazing. I want to get you a little bit taller. Can you straighten up just a little bit more? Remember that lumbar spine, keep that curved. We keep that positive self-image, and as they get into the pose and as they do the thing that we want, we instantly praise and say, that looks fantastic, that looks so amazing. Dane, pull her in a little bit from the waist and help her out, that looks amazing. Speak positively throughout the shoot. Number 5 and number 6 are kind of related. Number 5, remember how we talked about the guy having a good time? One of the things that I do during the shoot to build this trust and confidence and so forth is make him have a good time, make her feel beautiful. These are kind of my different visions for the experiences that I want each of these two people to have. For the guy, I want him to actually enjoy the picture-taking experience, because in general, that's not something that guys enjoy. If he's enjoying it, she's automatically gonna be more relaxed, he's gonna have a good time, I can get him into different poses and so forth, and it's great. Her, I'm kind of more focused on making her feel amazing. She's relaxed that he's having a good time. Now I want to focus on building her self-image, because that's the area that I feel like for women is going to be the area that's going to make the most impact on the photos. The funny thing is that when guys are having a good time, they're naturally just relaxed and kind of what I call GQ. They just have that era of confidence and kind of masculinity to them. When they're nervous is when they're kind of shrinking and kind of staying to themselves, and they're not standing tall. So these are kind of the two emotions that I feel like if you can make him feel like he's having a great time, he's gonna stand tall, his shoulders are gonna be open, he's gonna be broad-chested, he's gonna do all those things that make him look great in photos. And if she feels beautiful, she's gonna be standing tall, kicking your hips and showing you curves and doing all those things to make her look beautiful. Number 7, I love educating my clients during shoots for several reasons. Number 1, we talked about how kind of one of our missions was to show our effort and to show them exactly what we're doing and how we're amazing. Educating during a shoot does not mean that you're talking about T-stops and F-stops and shutter speeds and all this kind of stuff. It means that as I'm walking around and setting up a tripod, I'm gonna go, hey, you know what guys, I'm gonna set up this tripod. We're gonna put a light over there. I want to capture this background. It's going to look absolutely amazing. We're going to shoot it from right here. I'm going to place you guys in that scene. We need to light you up so we can see you and have the background be all beautiful and dramatic. This is the way that I'm talking to them, not explaining the technical details. Unless they're photographers, then I will. But what that does is it's teaching them, whether it be posing guidance, whether it be lighting, whatever it is, it's teaching them that I know what I'm doing, that I'm putting forth effort to make these photos amazing. So when I show them an image, they know what went into creating that image. Number two, it's also kind of makes the shoot a little bit more fun. It's not necessarily education that's boring. It fills the gaps in silence, and it gives us something to talk about. If they go, oh my gosh, that image was so cool, they see me basically take a photograph and we slow down the shutter so we get this water movement. They go, how did you do that? I go, yeah, so that's why we put it up on the tripod, because we slow down the shutter. So everything around you is moving and you guys are still, and that's what's captured in the shot. It gets them into the photographs. Number 8, get to know them during down moments. So your down moments are times to talk more, to get to know them more. If you ever forget, or if you ever kind of just are at a loss of what to talk about next, do you feel like, man, between the initial meeting, our talk through, between all the times that I've seen them and chatted, I literally know everything about this couple. Well, that's the perfect time to transition into discussing the wedding day and the timeline. This is where you bring up, hey, how's wedding day planning going? How is your timeline? Have you guys thought about those different things that we talked about? Have you thought about or had time to look at the ideal timeline guide? That's your chance to be a wedding consultant. And it'll open up a whole new line of conversation that can last hours for, well, your entire shoot, basically. The last thing I do to make sure that I'm always building trust, confidence, and relationship is to under-promise and over-deliver. At this point, we've tailored their vision. We have shot for their expectations, and now I want to exceed the expectations for their engagement shoot. There's several things along this shoot process that does that. Showing them the images, that's fantastic. Showing them we're shooting and we're getting that motion and feel that they wanted on their mood board, that's fantastic. We're exceeding those expectations. One of the other things that's great is to show them teasers. I get back to the studio, I'll prep 5 or 10 images and send them off to them right away. So they have something instantly, something that they weren't even expecting to have for another 4 weeks. Then if we tell them, you know, your wedding or your engagement images are typically gonna be ready in 4 weeks, we deliver them in 2 or in 1. Throughout this entire process, we're setting ourselves to exceed their expectations in terms of the quality of images, in terms of how they feel and the experience that they're having, in terms of how we're delivering the images and so forth. Doing these 10 things are gonna make your clients feel like you are an absolute hero. They're gonna walk away, they're gonna talk about you with their friends, and well, you don't need to spend any money on advertising when they're doing that. So hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Let's go to the next video.